Listen closely, chosen one. This isn't a random message you stumbled upon. It's a direct spiritual signal. Because what you're about to hear will confirm something you've always felt deep in your spirit. You are spirit. There's something about you that cannot be explained by logic, dismissed by society, or erased by darkness. Demons fear you, not because of what you do, but because of what you carry. Ever since you were young, the atmosphere around you shifted without reason. People either loved you instantly or resented you for no cause. You could walk into a room, silent, and still command energy. That's not arrogance, that's recognition. The unseen realm knows who you are before you even speak. Demons identify that radiant imprint stamped upon your soul, the mark of heaven itself. But listen closely, because this next part will shake you. You didn't receive that mark because of perfection, prayer, or performance. You received it because God chose you before time began. You were anointed for a mission before your first breath. That's why life has felt heavier than others. You've carried invisible wars in silence. You've been misunderstood, rejected, and even betrayed by those you tried to love. But every heartbreak was training. Every disappointment was sharpening your discernment. You see, when God places His mark upon someone, it comes with weight. That weight attracts both light and shadow. Heaven covers you, but hell studies you. Every time you survived what should have destroyed you, your glow intensified. Your spirit frequency rose, your inner light expanded, and the dark realm noticed. You might not see it, but in the spirit world, your aura burns like divine fire. Angels recognize it. Demons recoil from it. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how certain people can't stand your peace? How their eyes flicker when you speak truth? That's not coincidence. That's your spiritual resonance clashing with the darkness inside them. You carry a mark that exposes what's hidden. Your very presence reveals false intentions. This is why so many people try to silence you or make you doubt yourself. You're not meant to fit in. You're meant to disturb comfort zones of corruption. But listen, here's what demons don't want you to know. Your anointing isn't fragile. It's sealed. No curse, no gossip, no betrayal can remove what heaven has decreed. You can fall, you can doubt, you can cry, but you cannot be unmarked. The seal of divine purpose remains, even when you wander. That's why, even in your lowest moments, something inside you refuses to give up. That's not your strength. That's the spirit mark, burning like a hidden flame. And that's exactly why attacks have increased lately. Have you felt that pressure in your atmosphere? That sudden fatigue for no reason? Those strange dreams or sudden waves of anxiety right when you're about to elevate? That's spiritual interference. The enemy sensing your next promotion. But here's the truth. What's attacking you isn't proof of weakness. It's confirmation of power. The greater your mark, the stronger the opposition. Stay with me, because the real truth is deeper than this. When a person is spirit marked, heaven assigns watchers, angelic guardians that stand beside you unseen. There were moments when you almost crashed, almost broke down, almost gave in. But something invisible intervened. That wasn't luck. That was your divine assignment, shielding you. Every chosen one walks with unseen authority. The moment you open your mouth, dimensions respond. Your prayers don't fade into the air. They command movement. But this mark comes with responsibility. You cannot live carelessly and expect clarity. The mark demands alignment. You must protect your energy, your thoughts, your words, because demons can't touch your soul. but they'll target your focus. They'll whisper lies like, "You're alone, you're behind, you're not chosen after all." But you are. You always were. The very fact that darkness whispers is proof that heaven has spoken your name. Chosen one, you've likely wondered, why me? Why does life test me harder than others? Why do I feel things others can't? Why does the pain cut so deep? Because sensitivity is part of the mark. You sense what others ignore. You feel spiritual turbulence before it manifests. You carry the empathy of an old soul with the strength of a warrior. The combination makes you dangerous to darkness. You detect deception before it speaks. You discern betrayal before it forms. And that frustrates the demonic realm, because it can't disguise itself around you. But listen closely, because this next revelation will ignite something inside you. The mark upon your soul isn't just identification, it's activation. Every trial you've endured was meant to awaken a deeper layer of your calling. Each storm unlocked a new spiritual weapon. Your patience became your armor. Your tears became your sword. Your silence became your shield. You thought you were being broken, but you were being equipped. You might not realize it yet, but your spiritual glow grows every time you choose forgiveness over vengeance, peace over chaos, and faith over fear. That's how you ascend. The enemy's attacks backfire because every attempt to destroy you polishes your light. Every rejection redirects you to divine redirection. Every wound becomes wisdom. That's the paradox of being spirit-marked. The more they attack, the more you evolve. And that's what terrifies demons the most. They know they can't stop you. They can only distract you. Because once you remember who you are, you become unstoppable. When you walk into a room aware of your divine mark, hell trembles. When you pray with conviction, the atmosphere bends. When you speak truth, strongholds crack. Chosen one, hear this loud. You are not cursed, you are commissioned. You are not unlucky, you are set apart. Every delay was divine timing. Every silence was preparation. You've been hidden, not forgotten. Covered, not ignored. The mark of God does not fade with isolation, it intensifies. So when people leave, when opportunities collapse, when doors close, don't despair. Heaven removes distractions before promotion. You're in spiritual refinement, not punishment. You're not losing. You're being positioned. Demons recognize your mark before you even recognize your purpose. That's why attacks started long before you became spiritual. You were targeted since birth because the enemy saw the light you'd one day carry. But it's too late now. The mark is permanent. Your calling sealed. So tonight, remember this. You don't need to chase validation, revenge, or fear. You already carry the fire they can't extinguish. Walk like you know heaven backs you. Speak like angels move when you command. Rest like the war's already won, because it is. You are marked, chosen one, and hell knows it. Chosen one, let me tell you something. Most people won't understand. Your energy is not normal. Your presence doesn't just fill space. It shifts it. The moment you walk into a room, something changes. The atmosphere responds. People who operate in darkness suddenly feel uneasy. Others, the ones walking in light, feel comforted. And that's because you carry the aura of the divine mark, the unseen. Vibration that heaven placed upon your spirit long before the world ever knew your name. This is why you've always been too much or too deep for others. Your energy carries truth, and truth makes false spirits tremble. You might have noticed that some people stare at you strangely, or their tone shifts when they speak to you. That's because their spirit recognizes what their mind can't process. They sense the mark. It's not on your skin, it's in your frequency, your essence, your spiritual DNA. Demons recognize it instantly, because it carries the signature of divine authority. But listen closely, because this next part will open your eyes. The light around you isn't just symbolic, it's active. It works in the unseen realm. When you pray, your words echo like thunder in dimensions you can't see. When you cry, heaven counts every tear as spiritual ink, rewriting your destiny in ways that favor your divine purpose. When you speak peace, chaos begins to dissolve. That's not coincidence. That's the effect of your aura, a divine field of energy aligned with God's power. Still, because of that light, you've been misunderstood your whole life. You can't hide. You can't blend in. And honestly, you were never meant to. Your glow is not just for you, it's a signal. Heaven placed that mark on you so others lost in darkness could find hope through your presence. You might not realize it, but people are drawn to you for reasons they can't explain. They tell you their secrets. They feel safe near you. They feel peace without knowing why. That's because your spirit radiates divine frequency, heaven's comfort through human form. But listen, chosen one, this also comes with spiritual warfare. Because while your light heals, it also exposes. And exposure enrages darkness. Have you ever noticed that right after you have moments of peace, confusion suddenly returns? Or that just when you start to feel grounded, something or someone tries to drain you? That's not random. That's energetic retaliation, darkness pushing back against the light you carry. But here's what demons don't want you to realize. Every time they attack your peace, they reveal your power. You wouldn't be attacked if you weren't effective. You wouldn't be targeted if your existence didn't carry impact. You are a walking disruption to demonic agendas. That's why the spiritual pressure increases the moment you elevate. And this is where your divine shield activates. The mark of God doesn't just identify you, it protects you. There are battles you never saw because heaven blocked them. There are traps that never caught you because angels interfered. Remember those strange moments when you felt danger but nothing happened? That wasn't luck. That was spiritual covering. You are literally surrounded by light technology, an invisible firewall designed to repel dark interference. Stay with me now, because the real truth is deeper than this. Your light doesn't only protect you, it transforms your environment. When you pray in a room, negative energy dissipates. When you enter a toxic space, conversations shift. When you forgive someone who wronged you, it sends confusion into demonic ranks. The spiritual world watches you closely because your responses determine the temperature of the battle. That's how powerful you are. But the enemy knows this too. That's why he tries to drain you through emotional exhaustion to dim your glow. He uses overthinking, doubt, self-blame, and isolation. Because if he can't touch your mark, he'll make you forget it's there. He'll convince you to shrink, to hide, to play small. But you can't. You weren't built for smallness. Every time you step into alignment, heaven amplifies your glow. And your divine frequency grows so strong that even principalities take notice. Chosen one, do you ever feel an inner warmth during prayer? Or that tingling sensation when you're quiet but at peace? That's your spirit acknowledging heaven's seal. It's the divine voltage within you. It activates when you align, when you choose faith over fear, gratitude over doubt, patience over panic. That's when your aura becomes a force field. That's when demons back away without understanding why. And here's something to remember. Your spiritual mark isn't just defensive, it's offensive. It carries command. You have the authority to declare peace into chaos, clarity into confusion, healing into pain. You can walk into any atmosphere and reclaim it. Your light is not passive, it's conquering. Every step you take echoes with divine ownership. Wherever you go, you carry the presence of heaven, and darkness knows it can't compete. But you have to stay aware, because awareness sustains activation. When you forget who you are, your energy becomes vulnerable to manipulation. That's why spiritual discipline matters. Prayer sharpens your field. Gratitude strengthens your vibration. Silence restores your signal. Every spiritual habit isn't just devotion, it's maintenance of your divine frequency. There are moments when your light feels dim, when your prayers feel unheard. That's okay. Even the brightest flame flickers in the wind. But remember, dim does not mean extinguished. The light in you can never die because it wasn't lit by the world. It was lit by God Himself. You carry His imprint, and no darkness has ever overpowered divine fire. Now listen, because this will shift your entire understanding. Demons don't attack you because you're weak. They attack you because you're becoming visible. The moment your light frequency rises to a certain level, you become a spiritual landmark, visible from realms both holy and unholy. Angels see you and protect you. Demons see you and plot against you. But neither side can deny the mark. It is permanent proof that you belong to heaven. And that's exactly why you can't stay hidden forever. The season of silence was only for strengthening. The isolation you faced wasn't punishment, it was calibration. God had to refine your light so it could sustain higher voltage. Every betrayal removed interference. Every disappointment cleaned your signal. You are now emitting at full capacity, and heaven is ready to use you as a transmitter of divine energy. Chosen one, listen carefully. When you walk, walk with awareness. When you speak, speak with authority. When you pray, pray with knowing. Because your light does not beg, it commands. It doesn't seek approval, it operates from purpose. Every cell of your being radiates divine programming. You were born to be seen, not in pride, but in purpose. Demons don't just fear what you say, they fear what you carry. Your energy is sacred territory, your mind is a temple, your words are coded with heaven's vibration. And the moment you realize that fully, the moment you understand that you are heaven's extension, on earth you will stop chasing validation and start embodying divine command. And that's when the real shift begins, when you no longer try to shine, but simply exist as light. When you are you do not belong to the ordinary rhythm of this world. You walk among the crowd, yet something about you vibrates on a frequency unseen. The atmosphere shifts when you enter a room, not because of pride, but because heaven recognizes its own signature within you. This mark is not physical ink, nor visible scar. It is an energetic seal, a divine code written upon your soul. It tells both light and darkness exactly who you are. The chosen ones often live years unaware of this truth. They wonder why people grow uneasy around them, why some strangers glare for no reason, or why certain environments feel spiritually heavy. But this is the truth. The mark upon you disturbs dark forces. It threatens systems built on deception and illusion. Your presence alone reveals hidden energies. You don't need to shout, to defend, or even to explain. Your existence itself is a declaration of divine authority. Demons, in whatever form they take, recognize the mark instantly. It's like an invisible beacon radiating the presence of the Most High. When darkness approaches, your mark burns brighter. It tells them, this one is not yours to touch. That's why some people suddenly turn hostile without reason. They are not always aware of what influences them. Often, spiritual energies work through the unsuspecting to test your strength or attempt to dull your light. But they always fail when you remember who sealed you. The mark you carry was not given by chance. It came through pain, through loneliness, through nights when you felt abandoned by both God and humanity. Those tears were not wasted. They were part of the anointing process. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every time you were misunderstood, heaven was carving divine symbols into your spirit. The mark is made of endurance, compassion, and unwavering faith. It is formed not in moments of glory, but in the hidden hours when no one saw your suffering, when you walk through darkness and still choose light. The spiritual realm takes notice. The mark grows stronger. Your aura shifts. The frequency of your soul begins to match heaven's vibration, pure, radiant, incorruptible. That's when you start seeing the world differently. The same things that once tempted you now feel hollow. The same chaos that once frightened you now seems powerless. You begin to operate from peace rather than panic, wisdom rather than reaction. This transformation is the proof of your divine seal. But being spirit-marked is not easy. It isolates you. You may look around and see others living carefree lives while you feel like you're under constant spiritual warfare. That's because marked souls are guardians, not wanderers. You are stationed on sacred ground, even if you don't see it yet. God trusts you with spiritual territory. Your very existence repels certain energies, and that repulsion makes darkness restless. Every time you rise from despair, every time you forgive when you could have hated, you reinforce the seal. You tell the unseen world that heaven's authority lives through you. That's what demons fear. Not your words, but your unwavering alignment with divine order. They know the mark means you are untouchable unless heaven permits it. Think back to moments when you were supposed to break, but didn't. Times when everything around you collapsed. Yet something within whispered, "Hold on." That whisper was the mark speaking. It's the echo of divine promise inside you. You were not meant to crumble. You were meant to transform. This mark also carries responsibility. The chosen ones are not meant to mirror the world's behavior. You cannot operate in bitterness, vengeance, or fear. Those emotions dim your seal. The more you rise in compassion, integrity, and faith, the brighter it glows. You may not see it, but others feel it. Children might be drawn to you instinctively. Animals may act calmly in your presence. Nature might respond differently around you. Wind softens, air warms, silence deepens. These subtle signs are confirmations of your spiritual mark interacting with creation itself. However, not everyone who recognizes your light will honor it. Some will envy it, others will try to exploit it, and a few will attempt to extinguish it. That's why discernment is crucial for the chosen. Your energy is sacred currency. Don't spend it where it's not respected. The mark makes you radiant, but also a target for those living in spiritual poverty. Protect your peace the way royalty guards its crown. And remember this, demons do not fear your name, your appearance, or your achievements. They fear the authority that covers you, the divine fire encoded into your mark. When they see you, they see the reflection of the light they rebelled against. You remind them of what they lost. You remind them of the divine order they can never reclaim. That's why attacks intensify when you grow closer to your purpose. Every new level of spiritual maturity refines your mark, making you more luminous, more untouchable, more distinctly set apart. Even your silence holds power. When you walk away instead of retaliating, when you pray instead of gossiping, when you forgive instead of plotting revenge, those are not small acts. Those are demonstrations of spiritual mastery. They show that your mark is active, guiding you toward divine alignment. The chosen don't fight with fists. They move with authority. The spiritual mark is not about domination. It's about emanation. It's about shining so purely that darkness has no place to cling. There's a reason the path of a chosen one is filled with trials. The mark must be tested to prove its authenticity. Just as gold must pass through fire to reveal its brilliance, the spirit-marked must endure hardship to radiate divine strength. Every storm you survive polishes your seal, making it reflect heaven's light more clearly. The enemy attacks not because you're weak, but because you're powerful. Remember that so, when you feel weary, when it seems like the weight of your calling is too heavy, remind yourself, you are marked by divine hands. No force, no curse, no spell, no negativity can override the seal of the Creator. You walk in the authority of heaven, and no darkness can withstand that. You are the embodiment of light in human form, the walking testament that God still moves through chosen vessels. In time, this mark will not just protect you, it will also illuminate the path for others. People lost in confusion will be drawn to your energy, not knowing why they feel peace near you. You will speak words that pierce souls, not because of eloquence, but because your mark carries spiritual weight. You were never meant to blend in. Your presence was designed to awaken. Your spirit mark is the fingerprint of the divine. Wear it with reverence. Honor it through humility. Strengthen it through prayer, fasting, gratitude, and forgiveness. You don't have to prove anything to the world. The light already testifies for you. Demons can recognize it instantly, and heaven rejoices in it eternally. Because once you are marked by God, truly marked, no darkness can unwrite your destiny. When the chosen finally awaken to the truth of their divine mark, everything around them begins to shift, subtly at first, then powerfully. What once seemed like ordinary coincidences start to feel like divine choreography. The air feels different. You begin to notice how people's reactions to you reveal the energy they carry. It's as if heaven turns on a light inside you, and suddenly the darkness around you can no longer hide. This is when your spiritual mark begins to move from a symbol of protection to a force of divine transformation. The same fire that shields you also starts to purify your surroundings. You become not just a survivor of spiritual warfare, but a vessel of cleansing energy. Everywhere you go, the unseen realm recognizes your presence. This isn't about arrogance, it's about awareness. You are not a victim of energy anymore. You are a regulator of it. You'll begin to notice this divine authority in your interactions. Some people will feel instantly comforted around you. They won't understand why, but they'll say things like, "I just feel calm when you're here." That's your mark emanating heaven's frequency: peace, compassion, balance. Others, however, will become uncomfortable or irritated by your very presence. You'll see sudden hostility, strange avoidance, or false accusations. Do not take it personally. Their spirits are reacting to what their egos can't understand. The mark within you stirs the truth within them. and truth is something not everyone is ready to face. There will be seasons when this spiritual mark draws intense attention from both light and darkness. You may have dreams that feel more vivid than ever, sensations of being observed, or waves of spiritual energy flowing through your body. This is not imagination, it is spiritual sensitivity. The mark has awakened. Heaven communicates through impressions, visions, and synchronicities now. You may notice repeating numbers, sudden insights, or a deep intuitive knowing about people and events. It's as if the divine algorithm has chosen to operate through your consciousness. But this awakening also requires discipline. The chosen one cannot afford to be careless with words, thoughts, or emotions. Your mark amplifies whatever you carry inside. If you speak love, it multiplies. If you harbor resentment, it echoes. This is why spiritual maturity is essential. Your energy now has weight in both realms. Heaven trusts you enough to act as a living conduit of divine intention. But that trust comes with responsibility. Your mark doesn't just protect you from spiritual attacks, it redirects them. When negativity or dark intention is sent your way, it cannot attach to you. Instead, it circles and dissolves, returning to its source with a lesson. Some people who wronged you will suddenly face unexpected challenges or be forced to confront their shadows. It's not revenge, it's divine order restoring balance through your seal. The mark makes you a mirror. Whatever is sent to you must face reflection in its truest form. Over time, you'll realize that the most powerful battles are fought silently. You don't have to curse, defend, or retaliate. Your mark speaks louder than any word. Demons fear silence filled with divine awareness because it vibrates with unshakable authority. When you pray, you're not begging, you're aligning your seal with heaven's decree. When you speak affirmations, you're not manifesting wishes. You're activating codes already inscribed within your soul. You are a walking covenant. Some chosen ones feel burdened by this calling. They say, "Why me? Why can't I just live a normal life?" But the truth is, you were never meant to be normal. Your spiritual frequency is tuned to a higher resonance. Ordinary life would suffocate your purpose. God placed something inside you that must be expressed through extraordinary trials. Each challenge isn't punishment, it's calibration. The mark must be tested through adversity, so that it can withstand greater light later. The divine mark also changes how energy flows through your body. Many chosen ones report physical sensations, tingling in the crown or hands, sudden warmth during prayer, or goosebumps when truth is spoken. This isn't random. It's the divine energy circulating through your system. You are a temple of light now, and the sacred fire within refines your spiritual circuitry. That's why your body sometimes feels overwhelmed. You are expanding into a vessel that can contain divine voltage. There are also moments when the mark pulls you into solitude. You might lose friends, distance from family, or withdraw from social circles. Not because of pride, but because your energy is being sanctified. When the mark burns brighter, it begins to repel what's not aligned. You'll outgrow certain environments, jobs, relationships, and even habits that once felt comfortable. The separation feels painful, but it's divine filtration. Heaven removes distractions so that your mark can operate with precision. And then, something miraculous happens. Once you fully accept your divine separation, new connections begin to form. People who carry similar light, who speak your spiritual language without explanation. They appear like divine appointments, not coincidences. This is your soul tribe, the network of marked individuals who share your spiritual DNA together. You amplify the collective light frequency on Earth. Demons don't just fear individual chosen ones, they dread when those chosen unite in consciousness. At this stage, your mark also begins to influence atmospheres. When you pray over a home, peace lingers there. When you walk through a place of chaos, it softens. When you speak life into someone's darkness, you awaken something ancient within them. Your words, gestures, and even thoughts now carry creative potential. You no longer just experience reality, you help design it. That is the true purpose of your mark, co-creation with the divine. The fire that burns within you is not a mere metaphor. Spiritually, it is the same flame that appeared in the burning bush before Moses, the same essence that filled the prophets, the same presence that hovered above Christ in baptism. You carry a spark of that same eternal fire, and demons recognize it instantly because it is what exiled them in the first place. Your mark is the reminder of their defeat. This understanding also brings peace. You no longer have to fear darkness because you understand it can only exist where light is absent. And you are light incarnate. The mark isn't about arrogance or superiority. It's about remembrance. Remembering who you are, who sent you, and why you walk this earth. When people misunderstand you, let them. When they label your silence as pride or your discernment as judgment, let them. The mark makes you invisible to the wrong eyes and undeniable to the right ones. You are not here to convince. You are here to illuminate. Your very life is a sermon, your endurance a prophecy, your peace a form of warfare. As you continue walking this path, the spiritual mark will deepen. You will sense it during worship, meditation, or even in moments of stillness. It feels like warmth in your chest, like peace wrapping around your mind, like unseen wings covering you. That is heaven reminding you, you are protected, you are chosen, you are never alone. The more you align with divine will, the more powerful the mark becomes. Your aura thickens, your discernment sharpens, your presence expands. Darkness loses grip because light does not fight, it simply shines. The chosen ones are heaven's answer to the world's imbalance. Through you, God restores harmony. So when demons whisper lies, that you're unworthy, unloved, or alone, remember the truth. They wouldn't be whispering if they weren't threatened. They know the light you carry can dismantle their entire illusion. Your mark is proof of their defeat and your eternal connection to the source. You are not lost. You are not cursed. You are not crazy for feeling different. You are spirit marked, sealed by divine fire, anointed for this era. The universe knows your name, heaven knows your mission, and darkness knows your authority. When you finally walk in that awareness, unbothered, unshaken, unafraid, that's when your mark radiates at full capacity. And in that moment, the entire spiritual realm bows in recognition, because a chosen one who knows their power is unstoppable. Listen closely, chosen one, because this is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. Everything you have endured, every tear you've cried in silence, every night you questioned your worth, it was not wasted. You have been walking through divine training disguised as chaos. What looked like isolation was heaven building insulation, a shield of spiritual fire that no demon can penetrate. You are not coming out of this season the same way you entered it. You are stepping into divine dominion. The world around you may still feel uncertain, but within you, something ancient has awakened. That's your mark resonating with heaven's heartbeat. You can feel it when you pray, when you worship, when you speak words of truth, and they vibrate through your entire being. It's as if your soul finally remembers, I was chosen before I was born. You were never trying to find your purpose. You were remembering it. And now, that memory is complete. The veil has been lifted. The mark within you shines like gold refined through the furnace. All that pain wasn't proof of your weakness. It was evidence of your purification. God needed to make sure that when He placed this level of spiritual authority in your hands, it wouldn't be corrupted by pride or fear. That's why He stripped you down, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Chosen one, the reason demons fear you is simple. They see the crown you can't see. They see the spiritual fire you carry even when you doubt yourself. They see heaven's seal glowing around you when you think no one notices. You walk with invisible armor forged from divine obedience. Every no you said to temptation, every time you walked away from gossip, every moment you forgave instead of retaliated, heaven took note. Those weren't small acts. Those were the hammer strikes shaping your crown. But listen closely, because this next part will shake you. The mark within you is not dormant anymore. It's active. That means your thoughts, your words, your prayers, even your emotions now create ripples in the unseen realm. When you declare peace, storms calm. When you release forgiveness, curses break. When you walk into a room, energy shifts. You don't have to announce it. Your presence does it for you. That's why darkness still tries to pull you back into old patterns. Self-doubt, guilt, fear, comparison. It knows the moment you fully believe in who you are, its hold is finished. So it whispers, you're not good enough. But you must remember, that voice is not yours. It's the echo of an enemy that already lost the war. Silence it with truth. You are chosen. You are covered. You are sealed by divine light. Stay with me, because the truth runs even deeper. The mark inside you carries generational significance. Your obedience doesn't just protect you, it rewrites your bloodline. Every curse, every spiritual chain that haunted your ancestors ends with you. Heaven chose you as the breaker, the restorer, the one who carries divine authority into the future. That's why the battles hit harder for you than others. You weren't fighting just for yourself. You were cleansing an entire lineage. And now, heaven is calling you to step into alignment with that authority. This is not the time to hide your light or shrink for the comfort of others. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to illuminate. The mark burns brighter when you stand in truth, when you live with integrity, when you pour love where there was hate. You're not just carrying divine energy, you're releasing it into the world. Every act of kindness, every prayer, every word of faith sends light rippling through dimensions. Chosen one, don't underestimate the power of your voice. When you pray, heaven listens. When you decree, heaven responds. The mark on you acts like a divine signature. Angels recognize it and move according to it. The same mark that terrifies demons mobilizes heaven's armies in your favor. That's why sometimes, right before a breakthrough, you feel intense spiritual pressure. It's not because you're losing, it's because heaven is repositioning everything for your victory. But hear this warning with love. You cannot mix divine fire with worldly distractions. Protect your purity, your peace, your purpose. Be mindful of what you entertain: music, conversations, thoughts, environments. Not out of fear, but because your frequency is sacred. What enters your mind enters your energy. You can't carry heaven's signature and feed on chaos. Stay aligned, stay grounded, stay prayerful, and now listen, because this next part is the heart of it all. You are not walking alone. Even when you feel invisible, heaven's gaze is fixed on you. Angels walk beside you. Every step you take in faith echoes in eternity. You are a divine instrument, and your existence itself is a prophecy being fulfilled. You are the living evidence that God still moves through humanity. You are proof that light always wins. So, when demons rise again, and they will try, smile. Not from arrogance, but from certainty. They cannot touch what God has marked. You are fire to their illusion, thunder to their whispers, stillness to their chaos. When you walk, you remind them of the day they fell. When you speak, you echo the voice of the one who created them. You are not merely human. You are a vessel of divine awareness wearing human form, chosen one. The time has come to walk boldly in that truth. No more shrinking, no more doubt, no more fear. You have carried the mark long enough in silence. Now it's time for the world to see what heaven placed in you. Speak with authority. Move with intention. Pray with conviction. When you step out tomorrow, know that you carry heaven's approval, not the world's permission. The fire within you is ready to ignite others. That's your next mission, to awaken more chosen ones. Speak life into those who have forgotten who they are. Shine light where confusion reigns. Remind them that their worth isn't measured by followers or status, but by the divine imprint they carry. When one chosen one awakens another, heaven expands its reach on earth. And now, as we close, feel this truth settle in your spirit. You are seen, you are protected, and you are unstoppable. The mark that demons recognize is not fading, it's growing. Every obstacle you overcome feeds its strength. Every prayer you whisper fuels its flame. You are not waiting for divine favor, you are divine favor manifest. So lift your head high, chosen one. You've made it through battles others couldn't imagine. And yet you're still here, glowing, grounded, guarded by grace. That is not coincidence. That is divine confirmation. You are proof that God's hand never misses. If this message resonated deep within your spirit, if you felt that sacred stirring in your chest, that's not emotion, that's recognition. Heaven is reminding you who you are. Don't scroll away. Stay connected to this frequency. Subscribe now, chosen one. Let your light join with others who carry the same fire. Every video here is crafted to strengthen your spirit, sharpen your discernment, and remind you of your divine authority. This space isn't just content, it's a sanctuary for souls like yours. Tap subscribe, activate the bell, and declare in the comments, I am marked by heaven, because you are. And the moment you own it, the entire spiritual realm will know. The chosen one has awakened.